There's no word that I've spoken that is not true. If I say every black in America is an African American, it is true. And where can it prove? Go to the hospital before you fill that form. The only race they're gonna bring that looks you fit in is African American. They'll not bring a black American race on that paper. Go to the job applications. They will not bring any black American race. They will bring the African American race, and that's what you signed for. So stop living in denial. Stop denying your roots. And even if you deny your roots, the truth will force you into your roots. Well, guys, again, thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, The Say Richmond. And I continue, guys, to ask you to continue subscribing on my YouTube channel because it helps me to give you more content and more educative stuff like this. I've had a few people reach out to me. They'll be like, they say, what do you talk about this situation of the people who call themselves Black Americans being attacking the Africans from Africa, who we call African Americans. I ignored that topic for a long time, and I've been trying to dodge it because I don't see any sensitive thing to argue there, but all I see is misinformation, lack of education, lack of understanding, and lack of knowledge from our brothers and sisters who were born here in America and who we call them the Black Americans. So before I say anything about this, I'm just talking about it because I've just had many people ask me at least to give my opinion, my honest opinion, of course, as I always do. I would love to tell you the difference between the Black American and the African American. In real sense and reality, the difference is the similarity. However, you can argue and insist and say the Black American, according to my understanding, is that American, is that black person who was born in America. They have never been to Africa. They've never been to an African country. That's why they were not born. They were born in America, which makes them the Black American. Who is an African American? An African American is like me. I was born in Africa, came from Africa, came to the US, became an American, so African American. But in real sense, do we have any race called Black Americans? No, we do not have it. That's why I didn't want to give my opinion, because I saw this is just a waste of time. Just there is lack of knowledge, lack of wisdom, lack of understanding, lack of education among our Black American brothers and sisters. Because when you go to the hospital, when you go to any place of work, when you're doing that application, that's when you face reality. There is no race called Black American. The race they put there is African American. Why? Because now that's when the reality kicks in. They're going to bring you, when they're asking about the race, they're asking about your roots, your originality. Where are you originating from? Yes, you are born from Africa, from America, and you want to be identified as Black American, but where is your roots? That's why you go to the hospital, you go to the job places to fill an application form. They'll say African American. There is nothing like a Black American race. It's not there. However, because we lack education from our brothers lack education, they end up trying to live in denial. And when you try to live in denial, that's what happens. Of course, you start hating Africans from Africa. That's ignorance first. We have Africans from Jamaica, we have Africans from Haiti, we have Africans from Brazil, and many other places, But when they meet me, they're happy to see me. They are happy to say, this is our brother, this is our African brother, because they know the history. We all know history. We all know how Africans ended up in America. We all know the history. However, the history says the Africans were brought as slaves in the 17th century. According to history, it says the year 1619. But the honest truth, there were Africans who were brought to America before that, maybe the 16th century, before what is written in history. And those are our great-great-grandfathers, great-great-grandmothers. They were brought as slaves, they were beaten, some lost their lives. However, when they were brought here in America as slaves, they left their families in Africa. The families who gave birth in Africa, so these ones came here, they gave birth in America. They fought for their rights and they won their civil rights. And here, the great-great-granddaughters and the grandsons are here with ignorance, now trying to untie themselves from the roots where they come from. Nobody's denying you from being a black American, like you want to call yourself. But in the end, we know the truth. The truth is what you find in the hospitals. The truth is what you find in any offices, in any department. They're gonna ask you, who is you? And in the end, you're gonna be an African American. That's what you're gonna apply for. There is nobody's gonna ask you, and you're gonna end up being, oh, black American. It's not there. They don't recognize that anywhere. There's no race of a black American that is recognized anywhere. There's no race known as black American, not anywhere. And sometimes I think this is what we call a divide and rule policy. What is divide and rule policy? It's where I say a white man intervenes black people and they make you fight against each other. You are fighting against each other as blacks. And what happens when you fight against each other? I'm supposed to be uniting with my brothers here in America. We are supposed to be as one people so that we can be stronger and greater. But if we continue fighting, we are never going to be strong. These people, all they want is to see us fight against each other and separate ourselves from reality. And in the end, they'll turn against you. After you've kicked me out of your house, after you've kicked me out of your community, then you're powerless. You have no power. You can't protect yourself. What's going to happen? All is going to happen now, these people are going to be like, well, thank you for fighting your brothers and sisters. Now we have you. And that's how they're going to continue controlling you. And that's how they're going to continue killing our history as black people. That's why they're taking all this history education from school, because they want to end the black race. But how do they end it? They end it by making us fight against each other, by making our fellow brothers, especially the youth, very ignorant where they come now. They are seeing us as a threat. Why do you have to see me as a threat? Because I am not your threat. I am not your problem. I am not the one who changed the writing that they put on the hospitals, in jail, and workplaces. I am not the one who came and said they should write the race of black African American. No, they write it that way because that's the truth. That's what you're going to meet in the end. Even if you untie yourself from your roots, in the end, after you fight me, in the end, they're going to say, okay, who is you? And where are you from? Africa. That's your roots. And what's your race? African American. There is no race like black American. You ain't going to find that anywhere. You will never find that race anywhere. There is no race called black American. So you can dream, which is not bad. You can argue, you can be petty as you want, but in the end, you must come to reality. And facing reality is very hard sometimes. But why is you? What makes you think that you're not African American? What makes you think that you are different? What makes you different? There is no difference. There is nobody who can tell a difference between me and so-called black American friends of ours, the brothers of ours, until we speak. Until we speak and they realize that I have an accent, maybe they don't have an accent. But before I speak, nobody's going to know that we are different. Nobody's going to tell that, oh, he's African American, he's black American. They're going to say these are African Americans until we speak. But this is the roots where you come from. Where is your roots come from? That's where the word African American, that's where it comes from. So I just argue and I urge and request our parents who give birth to these young brothers and sisters to us, please educate your kids the history, educate them how they ended up here. It will never change. It doesn't matter whether you've been here for generations, you have not been here for generations. The rest of Africans has been here for generations, but not Black Americans. Because there is no that race. So that's why I keep insisting. I kept telling these people, I don't have time to argue about this kind of debate because I don't see anything important in discussing this. I don't see anything that makes sense out of me discussing this because uh, it is self-explanatory. It's self-explanatory to know where we come from, to know our roots, to know our backgrounds. So what makes sense if I come and say, oh, the other one is a Black American, I'm an African American? In the end, we all have roots. If I get kids tomorrow in America, they're gonna be Black Americans, but their roots is African, which makes them African Americans. They'll be black. We can call them Black Americans because they were born in America, just to make other people identify or realize that, oh no, they were born in America. But that will never change the roots. The root is where you came from. You came from Africa. So it's very ignorant for our fellow brothers and sisters who just were born in 2000s, just born, no matter how, when you were born, but as long as you're Black, you have the melanin, it will never change. So it's a wastage of time, and I think we should not waste more of time on that. We should not we should not be more ignorant about that. And I think we should discuss more important issues, more important matters, which take us ahead. What would I tell you as an individual? I would think that coming together and finding unity among ourselves will make us more stronger, will give us more knowledge. We could share knowledge, and this would stop the oppression we all face. Because the oppression you face as a Black person is the oppression I face too. It doesn't matter. It does not discriminate whether you're Black American or African American. The hate you're gonna face is the hate I'm gonna face. And why are we facing that hate? The color. So it's very, very, very important, very, very wise, very, very smart that we should see the common enemy and don't make me your enemy because I am not your enemy. I have nothing to do with you, my brother. I have nothing to do with you, my sister. I may need from you is just to accept your roots. And if you don't want to accept your roots, that's okay. That's not my problem. But I'm not gonna argue over something that is self-explanatory, something that you can see yourself. Show me where in any department, hospital, jobs, show me where they write the race Black American. It's not there. Because when it comes to the race, it means the ethnicity, the roots. Where is you from? Where do you come from? They want to know your roots. Where do you come from? Where is your melanin from? It's from Africa. So the more you waste time and argue, oh, we are not African Americans, we are Black Americans. You can shout and make noise, but in the end, what's the reality? What's the truth? You're fighting me, but white man is watching you, white woman is watching you. They're like, oh, let them fight. After they fight, we're gonna tell her the truth. Hey, yo, African American. That's what they will tell you because that's what you're gonna apply when you're getting a job. That's what you're gonna apply when you go to the hospital. That's what you're gonna put there when you go to jail. They're gonna call you African American. They will never call you Black American because that does not exist. That's why when Chinese come here, Chinese have been here for a long time. They'll be here. Hispanics, they'll be here for many years, but they will never be white. No matter how good you speak English, you'll never be white. In the end, they say, what's your race? Oh, I'm a Hispanic. What's your race? I'm Asian. Because in the end, you must say your roots. They must identify you basing on your roots. They are never going to identify you basing on how many centuries you've been here. You can be here centuries and centuries. You can act like white people. You can eat like white people. You can walk like white people. You can speak like white people, but that will never change your roots of being black. You can bleach yourself. You can turn white, but you will never change your roots. And I'm sorry to be honest. I'm sorry that I'm being honest with you. I know it may hurt, but the honest will only hurt the fool. Honest only hurts fools, but the wise take and learn something from the truth. So before you fight me, why don't you come and join me and we fight together and we fight for our rights and we fight for our freedom and we fight against the discrimination that I'm facing, that you're facing. So how are we going to fight against that when you are fighting me? Because your ignorance of calling yourself a black American is pushing you to fight me, is pushing you to see me as a threat. Why you see me as a threat? Why don't you see an African Jamaican as a threat? You don't see a Haitian African as a threat, but you see an African American because they're coming from Africa, you're seeing them as threats. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? Please, let's have knowledge, let's learn, let's continue to study history, let's know roots, let's teach our kids the truth. And this would never happen if there was education, if there was enough education. All these quarrels I'm seeing on here, TikTok, YouTube, about the debating black American, African American, there is no importance of arguing about that because I see it's all the same. I don't see the difference between me and my brother who was born here and they're black. You know, the difference is like I'm from Africa, but then I come here, I'm an African American. They are black Americans because they were born here, but what is the rest? The rest unites us, which is African American, you know, and we must be smart about that. We must be very wise about that, and we must not let to be divided and they rule us after they divide us. Because when we come together, we're gonna fight for our rights, strong and harder. But when we are divided, then who is gonna fight for us? Who is gonna help us? Who is gonna speak up the truth? Because when I come here and speak the truth about Africans or blacks, I mean every person who is black. Not because you were born in America, not because you was never born in America, but as long as you're black, you're, they see us as the same. So I think I will not waste my breath, my oxygen onto that topic because I feel like it's embarrassing itself. Like when I look at my ignorant brothers and sisters, I wish they get much learning, but they will learn with time probably. You know, the more they separate out themselves from us, and then they go the other side, they'll be discriminated. They'll walk up. They will learn a hard way. You know, if you can't learn an easy way, you must learn a hard way, and you must learn a hard way with no choice. When you learn a hard way, you have no choice because that's when the reality and truth is kicking in. So I'm gonna end this here for today, but we should learn. There is no difference between African American and the Black American. We are all black people. We are all seen as the same. We may have a difference in an accent. I may be able to know my roots. I may be able to know how I got to America. I may be able to know which part of Africa I come from. But you may not be able to know because your grandparents came here, but they will be disappointed to know that this time, today, you are You're denying them. You're denying their rights they fought for. You're denying the oppression they went through. You're not acknowledging it. So think again, think twice, think harder, take your time and think before you come and or speak up and show what's in your brain. When you come and speak up and show the public what's in your brain, even if you're speaking your opinion as a human being, which is your right, but sometimes it brings question about your thinking. It brings question about your capability of leading people, you know. So, our brothers and sisters, let's put this in our heads, in our minds, and we do the right thing. I am not your enemy. Uh, you know, I'm just your brother. I'm just your sister. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I'm just trying to open up your eyes. You know, but if you don't want to see, what I'm telling you, and that's fine. But don't wake up and just make me your enemy. That's ignorance. It is ignorance. Again, guys, keep subscribing on my YouTube channel. I appreciate so much for watching and sharing my videos. Continue doing that. And if you're not happy with what I'm saying, you can argue through the comments down there. Or if you're happy with what I'm saying, you can still argue in the comments and put your opinion as a human, which I appreciate because I learn from people's comments too. I try to revise and see where do I go wrong as a human because I am not perfect. I'm a human. I do mistakes, but I come and share my views, which are at the highest percentage. I believe they are very honest and are very truthful because I am very ready to protect and defend every word I say today, especially through my channel. Why? Because there's no word that I've spoken that is not true. If I say every black in America is an African American, it is true. And where can it prove? Go to the hospital before you fill that form. The only race they're gonna bring that looks you fit in is African American. They'll not bring a black American race on that paper. Go to the job applications. They will not bring any black American race. They will bring the African American race, and that's what you signed for. So stop living in denial. Stop denying your roots. And even if you deny your roots, the truth will force you into your roots.